and thanks for joining us on our show, Basic Concepts and the Wisdom of Kabbalah with Dr. Michael Laitman. Hello, everyone. And on our show, every time we take a certain concept from this fabulous wisdom and we try to explain it in the closest possible way, most emotional way to a person that just started studying. And today we'd like to talk about the concept screen, Masach in Hebrew. And I'd like to ask you, when I say the word Masach, screen, what do you feel? I feel an awakening from within in relation to something that's very special, and everything else becomes less important, and that's called screen. That as if protect the most important thing from things that aren't that important. So the screen protects the most important thing in your life? Yeah? What is that important, precious thing that the screen protects? It's that which is important for every person. For me, the most important thing in life is to be connected to the inner force of nature. It needs to be protected. I need to protect my relation, my attitude toward it. Protected from what? Disturbances. So that nothing will interfere with your inclination, inner inclination to be connected with the inner force of nature. Is it an ability to, it's like you're protecting your treasure. I'm protecting it from myself, from the different inner disturbances that awaken in me, and that I want to remain only in the inclination, with the intention, being drawn to that source. What is that source? It is the source of all of nature, of all of reality, of all that is happening. And from it, we get all the innovations that we have, each of us in particular, and all of us together. That's the inner force of nature. And the desire to connect to this source, it gets different internal disturbances inside of you. It gets different disturbances if I allow these disturbances to appear. What kind? Anything, everything that a person has. But if I want to be directed toward it, if I want to be connected with it, if I want to be inclined towards it, then I feel no disturbances, and when being inclined toward it, I feel only it. So the screen makes sure that different things don't stop you or prevent you from being directed at the most important thing in your life. Yeah. So a screen, what is it exactly? An emotion, a feeling, an intention? What is it? A screen has many intentions. First of all, it is a force that is there against different disturbances that might confuse me, take me in different directions. Okay? This is one thing. The screen, it also helps me focus on what I want to attain. That's another thing. The screen works against all disturbances, as I said, but in different ways and on the different levels of the disturbances, on their different degrees. I understand that when Kabbalah teaches about the process of creation, it explains that at the beginning there's a general force of good, and because of its desire to give, plenty and abundance, it creates a created being to give all that plenty to, and at some point, that created being puts a screen over himself, a kind of ability to receive all the good and pleasure that the Creator wants to give. So my question is, why is it that the created being needs to protect himself from receiving all the good that the Creator wants to give him? Well, that's how we're built to begin with, that our nature is considered the desire to receive. And the source of pleasure is the Creator. And everything that stems from Him to us is the source of everything. So we need to protect ourselves. Why? If I want to get to know the Creator Himself, then I need to protect myself from the different things that come from Him and not accept them. But I want to get to know only Him. And what does the screen do then? The screen is exactly that which filters these things that come my way and helps me not to receive anything, but to be directed only toward the Creator. Suppose I'm the Creator and you're the created being, and I give you plenty and abundance. So you're telling me, in order to get to know me, you need to put a screen over yourself that will protect you from all the good that I'm giving you? Yes, because I want to be connected only with you. And if you'll get all the presents that I want to give you, then they'll confuse me. Confuse me how? That I'll be engaged in different things that are pleasant to my nature. And that's it. And I'll forget about you. So there's a kind of trick here. Of course there is. The Creator, He weighs to what extent is He important compared to the other things that He is presenting us with. On another show, you explained about the restriction. What's the difference between restriction, tzimtzum in Hebrew, and Masach, screen? The Masach, the screen, starts from the restriction. The restriction is that I restrict myself, I close myself from receiving anything, and the screen is that besides the restriction, I also scrutinize what can I receive in order to benefit the Creator. Delight Him. And so what you have is that there is the restriction and there is the screen in my actions. The screen allows you, as the created being, to do good to the Creator. Yes, by receiving from Him. Sounds like a relationship, right? It's like you're sitting in front of the host as the guest, and at first you refuse receiving something from him, and afterwards, when he nonetheless applies pressure, pushes you to receive, take more and more, then eventually you start receiving, and that is already your work then with the screen. Meaning previously you didn't want to receive anything, that was the restriction, and afterwards that you work with receiving whatever you can, as much as you can allow yourself, that's called the screen. Why the little that you can allow yourself to receive? Because you calculate, what can I receive, even though that, not because I want it, even though that I really want it, but not because of that. I receive only in order to do good to the host, to benefit him. So the screen protects you from yourself? Yeah. From what? From my ego? From my desire to receive pleasure. And then I reject the pleasant things, and that's how I stay connected to the Creator. I receive from Him, but as much as I can, so that what I receive will be only in order to do good to Him. So it's like He wants to do good to you and wants to give you plenty and abundance, and you're saying, stop, screen, I don't want to receive all of these presents because they'll confuse me. Right. And in the way of me connecting to you, right? But then you say, maybe I will take something, but not because I want to swallow all this good, but because I want to do good to you and be good like you, right? But when does it start? When I feel that the Creator, as the host, is putting pressure on me, persuading me to take something nonetheless, something good. How? He says, take all these good and pleasant things in life, but he applies pressure in a way that he always shows you what does he want to give you, and how much can you receive it in order to remain at a distance from him, meaning that all your reception will be in order to bestow contentment to him. There's like a kind of equivalence here between me and the Creator, right? Because the more you receive from him, after you have refused previously, it'll be only because you want to do good to the Creator, like the guest for the host. I heard Kabbalists say that the screen is what allows the created being to be independent and not controlled by the Creator. True, in that the created being refuses to receive directly from the Creator, he creates a partition between himself and the Creator. The Creator is not offended by it? No, to the contrary. He wants for the created being to grow and not to receive everything that the Creator gives him. Why? Because by refusing to receive something from the Creator, the created being sets himself apart from the Creator and starts working as the source of the pleasure, not as the receiver of the pleasure, but as the source of the pleasure, that now he can do something for the Creator, for the host, as the guest, who calculated how much can he receive, how much can't he, so it will give pleasure to the Creator. After you explained this entire process, all this occurred in the very beginning of creation? Yeah? Okay, I more or less understand the dynamics there, more or less what the screen is. Now, directly in relation to myself, how is the screen related to my life here and now? Is it? No. Should it be? Yes, because by you building a screen, by that you can perform actions of bestowal to the Creator, just like the Creator bestows to you, and then you will start revealing Him, that He exists, and that He is right in front of you. And I won't identify Him without having a screen. I won't detect him in front of me. Never. So what do I put the screen over? You don't want to receive anything in life unless by it you give contentment to the Creator, to the host. Where is the host? You'll start doing it, and then you'll feel that he is present, that he exists. So until I have a screen, I will not grasp that this general force that you talked about, that fulfills all of nature, that gives me life, that gives me everything, I don't perceive that he exists until I have a screen. Right? So you told me that the screen is something that protects me, protects my treasure from different disturbances. So what do I need to protect? I protect myself from what? You protect yourself of your desire to receive, of your desire to receive pleasure. But I want to receive pleasure. Depends. In many cases in life, even though that you want to receive pleasure, you don't allow yourself. I don't always succeed. I always want to enjoy, but many times it doesn't work out. So here you decide that I am using my desire to enjoy and my ability to enjoy in order to relate to the Creator the way I determine what and how do I receive from Him. Can you give me a practical example from our day-to-day life? And whatever you want. One thing. In whatever I receive, eat, drink, do something. In all these things, I think that in whatever I do now, I want to give pleasure to the Creator, even though that I don't feel Him, even though that you don't. By aiming yourself that way, you will come to a state where you will start feeling Him. So it's like I depict it in my mind. Suppose, in the meantime, suppose. This screen, suppose I'll have a screen. What will happen to all of my pleasures? You gave me an example of eating, drinking. What will happen to the pleasure that I get from food? I really like eating. Well, I have a few health issues now, so I'm restricted, but in general, I really enjoy eating. If I'll have a screen, what will happen to that? You will add to the pleasure that you get from the food. Also, pleasure, that by that you cause pleasure to the Creator. Has the Creator related to the good food? Because certainly, eventually, the food comes from Him. Usually my wife cooks. I understand that the Creator isn't your cook. So how is He related? Because everything comes from that original force of nature. And then you, by that, you give Him gratitude. You relate to Him. Okay, suppose I come home, my wife prepared the dishes I love the most. I sit down. First of all, I'll tell you what I understand. So I understand that, first of all, before I start chewing down, I need to think that the pleasure that I'm getting from this food is that I, first of all, want to return the Creator's favor, like return the delight that He gave me. Right. And then I start eating. That's it? I don't know, I'm confused. What now? How, by now enjoying the food, do you give the Creator delight? So that's the first thing I need to think about. Right. And I have no answer. I don't know who He is, where He is. I don't know if He came to the meal or not. But what I think is, I don't want for the food just to delight me, but to delight the Creator. Won't it ruin your appetite? I don't know. Try and see. Now, what about my wife that prepared the delicacies? What I want from her? I want to pay her back too? Sure, give her part of the food. Of course, I'll also compliment her and the Creator too. I'll say a cheers to the Creator for the food. I gave my wife as an example because she prepared this food all day long. So I understand what does it mean to repay her the favor or the good. But how do I give the Creator by feeling it in your heart. You can talk, you can say, but actually, no need. It's what you feel in your heart, that you're grateful for what you've received now, and that you enjoy the food, and that by it, you want to delight him. Another thing that Kabbalists say about the screen is that a person who already has a screen, he can start thinking not about himself, but also about others. Right. What do they mean? The ability to think about others and not only about myself. He wants for that pleasure that comes to us from the Creator, because the Creator is the source of all pleasures, that eventually the entire world will be integrated of these pleasures. This is what the screen allows? Right. If we go back to that same dish that we talked about, until yesterday I ate, I enjoyed, I told my wife, great, thank you, hugs, kisses. You're saying that before you take, wait a second. Think that you want to give back to the Creator, the general force of nature, which is the source of everything, and you want to be like Him, to do good. And now, not only to Him, but to all people. So I sat down for dinner, and this dinner turned into dispersing good to all people, not only what you feel, that here you have the ability to delight the entire world. And what does it give me? To relate to everyone in a good and nice way, to love everyone. And what does it give me? Suppose it works. It will give you the ability to bring all created beings closer to the Creator. And what does that have to do with anything? That you want to make it so that all created beings will be closer to the Creator, so that they can enjoy Him and feel how good and benevolent He really is. So, in conclusion, what is a screen? A screen means that I do not want to receive pleasure myself until I arrange my attitude toward the Creator and that which I have to get delight from, so that I send my pleasure to Him. I give back to Him. I want for Him to feel my pleasure and receive it from me. Thank you. Okay, so we understand what that is. How do I practically attain a screen? This is non-simple work. That now, for any pleasure that you get in life, you will start thinking that you have received it from the Creator, and how can you, in return, give Him contentment, that He will feel pleasure from you. The measure to which you receive this pleasure from Him. And then you are similar to a host and the guest, that sure you receive from the Creator, but by receiving, you give Him gratitude and a good feeling that He will feel how much you enjoy Him. I need to build this thought inside of me before I start eating? Of course. Suppose I think about these things, I try to do it. I'll write these things down. I'll even put a note up on my fridge. Suppose I try to arrange myself that way, to put on a screen like you say. I start eating. If after 2 minutes I find out that I forgot altogether about it, what do? After 15 minutes it's good. No, 2 minutes. At some point I see that I forgot about it completely. What do? Think about it again? Sure, you renew your intention. So how many times do I have to renew my intention? All the time, ceaselessly. You all the time need to live in a state where by that you delight the Creator. Now that I heard what you're saying, I felt that I'm becoming like a search engine, that whatever happens in life, I say, wait a moment, I want to feel good, but to do good to the Creator in doing that. How? I don't know, but I'm in a search engine, and again, and again. And it's like I'm looking for Him all the time. Yeah? What's bad about that? No, it's not bad. How many times does it take? How much time does it take, or how many times? I can't say, but for sure you will find. For sure. Suppose I have a screen. Is it something that once I've acquired it, it's with me all the time now, or it could disappear? No, you have to renew it all the time. Could it disappear? You mustn't stop thinking about it. And if it disappears, then you will need to once again make efforts in order to bring it back, build it. How does studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, what does it have to do with developing the screen? That's what the wisdom of Kabbalah is about. A person can't do it without studying the wisdom of Kabbalah? No, the wisdom of Kabbalah teaches a person how to build the screen, how to be connected with the Creator, and stay in an everlasting, growing connection with Him. Suppose more and more people in the world will have a screen. How will that affect our world? All of us will meet inside the Creator. As it says, our heart shall rejoice in Him. Where's that inside of the Creator? Inside of Him. That all of us want to give Him contentment, because from Him we also receive our entire life and all of our pleasures. And then what follows is that all created beings, because they're inspired to reveal, they're aspiring to reveal the Creator, they meet in the Creator. What will we feel? That we're all one big desire, one guest instead in front of one big host, and He fulfills us with His different treats, and we enjoy them and can send our pleasure back. It'll change my reality, right? The reality that I see today. Of course, we will already feel ourselves in the spiritual world. And there are no wars there, destructive competition, nothing bad, only good and forever. Well, it's beautiful. I don't know why the screen is so exciting, the concept itself. But my question is, what's the most important thing to remember? That everything that you receive in life, every moment, comes from the Creator, and you need to be directed back. You need to be directed at Him in every moment. And the screen is that you stop yourself and you aim your attention back to the Creator, the source of your life. What do you wish me in relation to the screen? To grasp yourself in that way and not to separate. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman. Good luck, Owen. Thanks for being with us. Till next time, all the best.